The true rule, and this is a quote by Abraham Lincoln, the true rule in determining to embrace or reject anything is not whether it has any evil in it, but whether it has more evil than good. There are few things wholly evil or wholly good. Almost everything, especially of a government policy, is an inseparable compound of the two, so that our best judgment of the preponderance between them is continually demanded. See, Abraham Lincoln's language appears to be complex at the first, but I felt that the issue here is very simple. The issue is, he's trying to say that in general, in public administration, the issues which a person is going to get are going to be gray areas. We say reality is not black and white, we are having gray areas. That means you won't be wholly having things that are wholly evil and wholly good. Like killing a person, wholly evil maybe, for no reason. If you're killing a person, wholly evil, or wholly good to help out a person. But in public administration, the dilemma that will have in decision making is going to be in decision which are going to be having partly evil and partly good. So it's about finding which is having less of evil and more of good. So I first tried to, in this quote, see, in this paper we got a lot of quotations, and in order to, we had to actually explain them. So reading the quotation, I started by, in this particular question, I started by opening the issue. When the quotation is given, you see, here it was about more good and less evil. This is where the decision making had to happen, predominantly. So I feel that in a quote, when anybody says something, he's saying in a very particular context or a paragraph. But if we have to explain it, then we have to first delineate what is the core issue being talked about by the person, by the personality. So I opened up the answer by what is it all about, and then I started to substantiate it. That, for example, in public administration, you have to take a decision. For example, you have to take a case is there, and you have to ensure that more evil does not happen. Good should happen, and there are two parties. One party is poor, the other is also middle class, and you have to sort of conciliate them or solve the case. Then you have to take that path where more evil does not happen, more good happens. So I just, whatever came to my mind in those moments, I tried to develop some examples to substantiate my argument. Around 2 examples to substantiate my argument, because it's a 150 words, so you have to hurry also. 2 examples to substantiate this. That this is the most amount of dilemma that a person would face in public administration. Moving on to the second B part, anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. Mahatma Gandhi. See, the quotations of Gandhiji are something that we should be reading always, because Gandhiji as a person is the father of the nation, extremely important for us. So his quote is, anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. I just noted down the keywords: anger, intolerance, and third is understanding. Correct understanding, mind you, correct understanding. So first I tried to explain in the first paragraph what Gandhiji might have meant. That in order to have a correct understanding, in order to have a clear picture, one should be free from anger and intolerance. And then I tried to open the fact that if a person is angry, then what negative can happen? If a person is angry, then he would be interpreting the other person's argument in a different manner. All of those things. If he is intolerant, then he will not respect other person's opinion. So I tried to explain why anger and intolerance can be a roadblocks in that. And while I was ending this answer, I also tried to substantiate by how Gandhiji promoted not being angry and intolerant. He promoted cross-cultural exchange between all the communities. For caste also, he worked a lot. He worked for the people of lower caste, calling them Harijan. So that positive aspect I ended my answer with, by giving that how one can control the anger and how one can reduce intolerance amongst oneself, and that can help us to understand the reality in a better manner. Part C, falsehood takes the place of truth when it results in unblemished common good. See, this particular quote, honestly, I was not being able to make correct sense of what is being said here. I read it twice and thrice, but I had to leave it half written. Then I came back to it again after the end. So at that moment I was just thinking, falsehood takes the place of truth. That the truth's place is taken by false, something a false argument, when it results in unblemished common good. So it is a quote from Tirukkural, and he's trying to say that if a false thing is leading to common good, unblemished common good, then it will take the truth's position. So I just tried to somehow this opened up the what could be false, how it could take the place of truth, and how in such a situation it is there when unblemished common good is being talked about. So I just tried to make up this answer. I was not really perfect to understand what is happening. I tried to weave some answer in one page, but honestly I was not able to write completely on it. There could be one question where you're unable to tackle it. So I left that for the part and I came back to it again to substantiate or give some example where a truth was being substituted by falsehood, but it was accepted by everybody because it led to common good.